So one thing I can say about the Armada that I really like is just how I feel like I'm inside a vault when I'm driving this. Just really good cabin acoustics. Just in general, just driving through the parking lot. I haven't even got on the road yet, but it just feels like the world is shielded from me. And I really just like that I'm able to hear myself. And it's not necessarily echoey, but I'm not hearing everything that's around me. And the roar of the engine is like a purr. And this 5.6 liter is really strong, but also it feels almost like Mercedes-esque, the sound that comes from the engine bay. Just a deep rumble, but never like piercing your ears. And of course this shares the same platform as the Infiniti QX80, and that might be why it still has that same kind of drive feel to it and overall inside sound, is because when you're paying 70 grand for something like this and maybe 80 to 90 for a QX80, it better not be loud in the interior. So Nissan's done a really good job with keeping up with that. And all in all, this is just a really nice vehicle to drive, and that's why these sell so well. People just like everything about them. Even though it's a Nissan, it doesn't feel like a Nissan, if that makes sense. And this is one of the few cars that Nissan has that drives more like an Infiniti, as opposed to Infinitis driving like Nissans. But let's manually shift here, see how the 7-speed feels. And you see, even in the higher RPMs, listen. Just not loud. The lane departure little buzz was actually louder than the engine was. And we'll turn on everything here. So there's the adaptive cruise. I think I did not turn this on. There it is. But yeah, the ride down the interstate was absolutely impeccable. Just so smooth. I would have gone up another exit, but that traffic is stopped up there. So I just wanted to get a quick feel for y'all, as I've driven other Armadas in the past. But they still just ride really well, especially for such a huge vehicle. And I've driven Tahoe, Suburbans. These just feel really beefy, but they don't drive that way, if that makes sense. I don't feel like I'm driving a giant SUV, even though I am. But all the good stuff about driving an SUV I can feel and I notice, and then all the bad stuff, like maybe how big it feels and everything else, doesn't really become a problem. And as I come to the end of the test drive, this is just a really good option if you are on the market for a Tahoe, maybe an Expedition, something like that. Really solid ride, and everything just feels really nice in this. And it's still around that same price point. To get a similarly equipped Ford, Chevy, or even a Dodge, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. And there's really just something about driving these. They just feel bigger than everything else. But really just like how this one comes optioned out with the rear entertainment, having all of the standard safety features, and just really good for the price point. Everything else around this price point is pretty much similarly equipped, but like I said, this just drives really luxurious compared to the competition, in my opinion. But this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Nissan Armada Platinum.